All right, so we're closing in on spooky season, and we're going to be taking a look at one specific book today that I think you'll love for many, many reasons. But the biggest one is this thing is creepy, and the one I want to talk about is Nothing Tastes as Sweet by Luc Dumas. Thank you to Simon Schuster, NetGalley, and Luc Dumas for this arc. It's good to get an early look at this book before it gets published. I think this one is coming out in October, if I'm right. Hopefully, I'm right. But anyway, or it might be later in the year. But this particular one here, we're following a morbidly obese man who is uh, kind of conned into, kind of wormed into taking doing a medical study on an experimental weight loss drug. So that's the premise there. What I got to say right off the bat is I love the way that Mr. Dumas had put in there uh, these these fun names for the drugs and the drug company itself. I mean, the drug company itself is called Monstera, and the appetite suppressant, that's what they're calling it, is called Consumin, and the actual drug that he ends up taking is called, they pronounce it EMAC 8, but it's spelled emaciate. It's really cool, and I particularly like the main character's best friend. I think she's really interesting, and she's also morbidly obese, but she doesn't care. She just figured out this is the way I am, and she she is a best friend in all ways a best friend could be. Um, so I really liked her character. Our main character is going through a lot of things. For one thing, he is a homosexual man in America. That's tough enough to go through, and on top of that, he is morbidly obese. Um, so I'm kind of conflicted about the first part of the book because essentially what we're getting for the first half of the book is how hard it is for our main character to navigate life. And I get that is horrible. Um, I'm no spring chicken myself. I'm not thin. Um, but I just wish it didn't take up the first whole half of the book. I think this story could have been told a little tighter by by kind of shortening up that first half because we it's almost, you get to a point where you're like, I get it. This is rough. This is tough, you know. And I also like the friend because her whole attitude and the way that we look at her and the way that we understand her and the way that she acts is a total different approach to obesity than what our main character has. And that best friend also happens to be a racial minority, which is another thing she has to battle. So we see all those things, but I'm not sure it had to be the whole first half of the book. It gets to a point where it's kind of hammering you over the head a little bit. But once you get to that half point, then things kind of take off. They take off like a rocket. There, there. Here we have, and I love when a book does this. We have these investigative pieces that are split in, like reports, and interviews that are sliced into our narrative, which really gives you a sense of a reality to what's going on. I love that. Um, I thought the writing flowed with that narrative ease that Luc Dumas has. It reminds me a lot of A History of Fear as far as that goes. The way that he kind of drags you into the story and tells the story and lets the story tell itself, so to speak. So overall, I love this, and I would recommend this for any fan of horror. It stands on its own as a unique work. I don't know if there's anything else quite like this one. It would be perfect for anyone who has struggled with their weight. It has general body issues or just difficulty fitting in. But aside from that, it also fits in real well, I think, with uh, fans of horror in general, because there are some really, really nasty things that occur in this book. And what I will say is, because I don't want to spoil anything um, for you, other than to say that things go terribly wrong, and you kind of get that going into, it doesn't take long for you to figure out with these investigative pieces that something goes bad. But the way that the author kind of tells the story and brings you into the story was top notch. I think this is an easy 4-star for me. The only reason it's not a 5-star is because, like I said, I think that first half of the book drug a little bit, for me anyway. Your mileage may vary, but I think this one definitely deserves a spin at the wheel during spooky season when it comes out. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. But anyway, thank you much. Hope you enjoy your day, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
Follow your mama.